Ba-ba. What up, everybody? Switching to. We're in the coffee house today. Not sure if we're just going to chat, if I'm going to play anything, because honestly, I'm not sure what I feel like playing. What's up on my mind? What's up? Who all's here right now? Yum, yum, yum. I'm gonna put that over here. Probably not on my work laptop. Let's stop. Put hot coffee on my work computer. Probably wouldn't bode well. What's up, Beth? So what's everybody been watching this week? First off, how's everybody's Saturday going? What's up, Juan? Happy Saturday as well. It's been a pretty smooth morning for me so far. Since it's a holiday weekend over here. Kind of slept in a little bit. Went and deposited my rent. All that fun adult stuff. Had a little bit of a lunch, a mini nap, and now we're here where we're at. Later today, going out after this, so it's not the typical wine stream. I know the title might be misleading, but we're substituting that with coffee. Since I have to drive after the stream is over, so probably not a good idea to be sipping down some wine. I can be responsible at times. But yeah, other than that, I think my only other plan for today is to eventually finally watch the first Quiet Place so I can go see the new one. Because I held off on watching it because the trailers showed so much of like normal life being like invaded by these creatures. I just assumed it was a prequel. So I was like, that's awesome. I don't have to watch the second one. It's weird, or the first one. It's weird it's still called 2. Sometimes I can be a little dense. I will not even pretend. So I'm going to be watching that. I bought it last night so I can watch it this weekend. And then I don't know if I'll go out to the theater. I mean, it's kind of my only option to see that movie is to go out in the theater. But I don't know if I'm going to go see it Sunday or later in the week. But I do plan on watching A Quiet Place 2 this shortly after at least watching the first one for the first time. What about you guys? What all have you been watching this week? What are all of your weekend plans? Hopefully the stream stabilizes because every other Saturday we've had some technical difficulties here and there with the with the internet every now and then. Just finished Jupiter's Legacy. I've had a few people asking me to check that out. I saw the trailers and the images from it, and I was not all that interested. Been jumping between Frasier and Mad About You. Nice. Frasier, I've seen a little bit of. I don't think I've actually seen any Mad About You. And they're doing a Frasier, like a revival season or series, I think. I forget on which of the streaming services. I can't remember if it's either Paramount Plus or Apple Plus. I do not remember. But I know they're making a new one. It's slow for sure. comic is better. I've heard a lot of people say that. Like, I just like the thing about me that like kind of threw me off is like in the trailer, some of the special effects just from what they presented in the trailer looked at some points subpar, even compared to like CW standards, as far as like the superhero effects, and then the gray wigs. I don't know, something about it just seemed like both bigger budget and really cheap all at the same time. So I was like, I don't know. I'll wait and see what people say about it, and maybe once my schedule clears up, I might give it a watch. What's up, Warrior J? So it's kind of still on the back burner right now. There's a couple of shows that I've been considering since Black Lightning just ended, permanently. It's had its final episode of the show. That opens up a spot on my schedule. And then once Supergirl finally comes to a close, that's another one that I'm not gonna have to worry about anymore. And there's a couple that I've been watching that I'm not sure if I will continue reactions for, because myself I'm losing interest. And if they don't do anything to keep my interest, I might just not hold the reactions going forward. And there's a couple of shows that I was kind of curious about maybe experimenting with a little bit. Some older shows that have already kind of come to a close, maybe revisiting. Like I've seen... Hold on. Is the stream okay? It just told me there was no data, but I didn't see my bitrate go down at all. And YouTube is like really unstable with its streaming sometimes. Scott coming in here with the super chat. Thank you, man. Oh man, are you excited for the Flash 5-episode crossover next season? I'm hoping Superman, Supergirl, Stargirl, Black Lightning, White Canary will be the heroes involved. What about you? So, some of the phrasing that they used when they talk about that. Now, it's not like a 5-episode crossover event. They said that these 5 episodes would have a crossover-like feeling to them. And what I think they meant by that is that we will have guest appearances from other heroes in those episodes. Like, it's not going to be like a game-changing world clash event. It's just going to be showing the world being shared, is kind of what that's how I read it. So I think that, and also it kind of seemed like they might be introducing heroes that haven't been shown in the shows yet. So we might see some setups for some heroes that have not been established in the Arrowverse as of yet. So, but Cress Williams has opened up that they have approached him to come on and play Jefferson Pierce, to come on to the Flash now that Black Lightning has ended, and make some guest appearances there. And apparently they are negotiating that, and at least talking about it. So it is a possibility that we might see Black Lightning again in the Flash, despite the show having come to a close. So I'm excited about that. So I'm not sure who I'd like to see, but Black Lightning and Flash is one of those two I was hoping we would get to see more of together after Crisis on Infinite Earths, and we just never got to that point. Barry and them and Central City was referenced a few times during this final season of Black Lightning, but obviously because that show is shot in Atlanta and Flash is shot in Vancouver, and with COVID restrictions on travel, they couldn't physically appear on each other's shows, but they did at least kind of help each other in this season, which was kind of cool. Netflix movies and shows have always seemed low budget, in my opinion, until Army of the Dead. I agree with that. And then I'm going to bring up a little bit of a counterpoint. Thanks to Blazer here. Have I seen The Witcher? I have, and I loved it. And The Witcher does not feel like a low budget show. It's not a very long show, but it definitely is smart with its budget, and it looks beautiful. And that was my first experience with The Witcher. I've never played any of the games, and I never read the books. So when they were like, what caught my interest was when they announced that Henry Cavill was cast in the role of Geralt, and I was like, oh, okay, and they're making a show about it. And at first I was like, Henry Cavill is this grungy mercenary guy. I don't know if I see it. I watched the show. I really loved it, but that was my hook. I was like, I'll watch pretty much anything Henry Cavill's in right now. And I thought he did a fantastic job in that. And I actually really enjoyed it. It inspired me to actually get the book to check that out. The writer of the book is apparently pretty pleased with it. So that's pretty cool. Did you hear they dropped the Painkiller show? I did. It's unfortunate. I'm not sure to why. I think it's weird that they straight up said no to that. Yet when this Powerpuff Girls thing came out, they were like, no. Go back, tweak it, and come back with another one. It wasn't like a straight no when they didn't see that one. It's not like they asked Painkiller to go back and rework a pilot. It just seems really weird. Like, I don't understand why they are banking so much on this weird Powerpuff Girls thing that so many people are just kind of cringing at. It's just like weird choices for sure. Henry Cavill for Captain Britain. What's up, Jermo? What's up, Jay Purnell? That'd be pretty cool. And, you know, speaking of, like, Henry Cavill for a long time, and I never watched The Tudors, so I can't really speak for that. I wasn't really sure what his range was. And I watched Enola Holmes, and I thought he was so charming in that. Did they confirm the role Cavill will be playing in Highlander? Not yet. They haven't confirmed whether he's playing. I mean, they did say he's going to be the lead, but they also have not said if they will be following Connor McLeod yet. So they could be doing a full reboot. They could be doing an adaptation, like a readaptation before, so I don't know. Because we don't know for sure if they're going to be just remaking it and like doing an updated version of it, and having him play Connor McLeod, or if they were going to focus on a different character in the Highlander universe. So as of yet, they have not confirmed, or at least that I've seen, they have not confirmed who he's going to actually be playing in the movie. But with Chad Stahelski behind it, I'm excited to see what they do, because at least we can expect some good, solid fight choreography in the movie with him at the helm, and some good action. And I love the first Highlander movie. It's cheesy, it's goofy, it is insane as hell, but I love it. It's really cool, and I can't wait to see it. It may be cringe, but I mean, it's got Chloe Bennett, so I'll watch the first episode. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely going to be watching it out of morbid curiosity, especially since they actually have Tom Kenny voicing the narrator still, so that's pretty interesting. Did I hear season 8 of The Flash will be the last? I've been hearing people say it, but no one official has talked about it. It's all rumors. It's all speculation based on other things that have been going on. Supposedly some people that they know, who know things, who know people who work behind the scenes, are saying it's the last season of Flash. Now, do I think The Flash will last a few more seasons beyond that? Probably not. I do feel like a lot of these shows are kind of on their last legs right now, but The Flash is still got the highest ratings as far as all of their CW shows, even right now. Aside from Superman and Lois, right now, with the last couple of episodes, Flash has taken a little bit of a dip, actually, but it's right there with Superman and Lois at the moment. So both of those shows are still going on, and when they're bringing in Stargirl, when they're bringing in Naomi, when they're bringing in Superman and Lois, whether or not it's up to snuff as to like it used to be, they still need some kind of a playground if they want to keep the interconnectivity going, because I don't know how much you could carry all of this forward with just two shows. If all we have, well, I mean, we got Legends tomorrow, has not been canceled yet either, so I mean, we still have Legends. Actually, Legends I think is the most stable ratings so far. Superman and Lois took a huge hit when they went on that 2-month break. I mean, that was outside of the control because they had to shut down because of a COVID case on set. But I mean, it did hurt the show, at least but it is on an upward incline because this week's episode was much higher than the one before it. So I think people are catching on that it's back on air. So I think that one at least will pick back up. And I'm hoping Stargirl will be another win because that first season over on DC Universe was fucking fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, I have never seen Karate Kid 3, but judging by you and Blind Wing's reaction, Johnny Silver, it's Terry Silver. I'm hyped. I think that's kind of funny though. I mean, it would make sense if you've never seen it though. John, it's like Johnny Lawrence is one of the main characters, but it's Terry Silver in there. And I like there was a cute little video that Thomas Ian Griffith, the guy that plays Terry Silver, put out, thanking everybody for their excitement and his return. Oh no, you're fine. I'm just a tease sometimes. I'm not trying to be mean. Talking about like how excited he is to finally be able to confirm he's on the cast for next season. I'm so ready. Karate Kid 3 is a terrible movie, but is so fun. I'll be straight. I'll be honest. Like I only, out of the Karate Kid films, the only one I think is a good film is the first one. The other two are very choppy, very sloppy, but they're very wildly entertaining. For me, I think the third one is the most entertaining because it is the most, I don't know, 2 is kind of insane, but 3 is, these guys are psychotic between Mike Barnes and Terry Silver. And yes, there is a fourth one, the next Karate Kid, and that has of course Pat Morita's in it, but it's the only one that doesn't have Daniel. There's a new kid, hence the next Karate Kid. And shit, what's her name? Shit, why can't I remember her name right now? I'm ashamed of myself that I can't remember. She was just in The Hunt. I say just in, that movie was late last year. Why can't I remember? Hilary Swank. Thank you guys, you got it before I could Google search fast enough, man. Hilary Swank. And it's not a good movie, but it's not a terrible movie. I enjoy it. I like her character a lot. And I do hope that they bring her into the movies, or not into the movies, into Cobra Kai at some point. I'd like for Daniel to finally meet one of Miyagi's other students because they were taught in very different ways. So I think that could help. Again, like when he went to go see Chosen, I think going to go and meet her, or at least meeting her, could help complete a little bit more of his perspective as well. What do you think of the Black Superman movie? I'm down to check it out. I mean, they've confirmed it's an alternate universe, so I mean, it's not like he's replacing Henry Cavill. It's not in the DCEU, so it's not going to mess with the continuity, so they can do whatever they want, as long, I just hope it's a good movie. If they're diving headfirst into the multiverse, so if they give us more multiverse content, I am all for that. I just wish they would have some confidence to continue their main continuity, because it feels like they are focused on this multiverse because they are too scared to move forward with their mainline stuff. And I think they're waiting on shit, what's the word I'm looking for? The Flash to come out and see how everything gets received after that before they move forward. Restore the Omniverse. We're not canceled. No need to restore us yet. Grow the Omniverse. That's what we should be saying. Rank the villains, Mercenary. Are you talking about the Cobra, like the Karateverse villains? Snyder is savage. Yes, he is, man. Damn it, man. I really wish I could have reacted to that for the channel. Though I know Greg and John said that they tried or was going to, but anything with Colbert gets blocked, so it probably wouldn't have worked out. But man, I watched that whole skit and it was so funny. It would be dope if he shows up on the show. Yeah, I think so too. Like, cause she was trained from the beginning. Like, she was, you know, Pat, or I was saying Pat, Miyagi taught her father taught her, and then he kind of came in to create their training or complete her training. So that was pretty cool. And I think that would give Daniel a different perspective on Miyagi-Do, and I think that would be pretty cool to see how they go. Have you seen the Mr. Miyagi documentary on Netflix? Is it I don't know. I watched More Than Miyagi. I did a little review on that one. I don't know. I had to buy that one, so I'm not sure if there's a new one or a different one on Netflix. You know what it's called? Searching his name, I don't see anything other than The Next Karate Kid. Let me know what it is. It might be also region based, so I'm not sure where you're at, so I might not be able to see the same things as you. Where are you at, Blazer? Omn1. Jeremy Irons and his hammer, man. That was a huge, awesome reveal. I was surprised as hell by that. I think it was called More Than Miyagi. Okay, I think I had to buy it here because it's not on any of our streaming services. At least when it came out, because I watched it the weekend that came out. Karate Kid villains. All right. What's up, Mandy? Happy. How are you doing? Doing good so far. I'm spending my time with my family today, celebrating my dad's 75th birthday. Had a few drinks, so bear with me. When have you not? When do you not have a few drinks, Mandy? I have to go driving. That's the only reason we're not whining today. How many episodes do you think Superman and Lois have? I heard the initial order was 13, but I've heard because of the COVID shutdown and late filming, they ended up extending it to 15. So I don't know. I think it's 13 to 15 is going to be whatever we get. I don't know if the 15 number was actually confirmed. So okay, it's a large cup. It's my Central Perk cup with my Central Perk shirt in Central Perk. All right, so ranking the Karate Kid villains. So if I had to do this right now, I still think that John Kreese is number one. I think John Kreese is where it started. If it wasn't for him, the other ones wouldn't really be pulled into this. I think he's the big bad of it all. At the end of the day, even if Terry is more sadistic and cruel than him, he taught Terry Silver everything he knows. So I would have to say John Kreese is my number one villain in the Karate Kid series. Number two is Terry Silver, just because he is the closest thing to an evil, psychotic, sadistic bastard in that whole thing, and he's so fun to watch. Like, he's so entertaining. He's so over the top. He's so just like, and he's like, not only does he want to destroy this kid's life and destroy this old man's life, he also destroys the environment by dumping toxic waste illegally in various locations. He's rich as fuck. Money's not a problem. He's like the most dangerous out of all of them, but he's also like a cartoon character. And I think that's one of the reasons I really like him. Number three, And he's only number 3 because at the end of the day, he's not really a villain, especially not after last season of Cobra Kai, and that's Chosen. Do we really consider Chosen a villain anymore? But I'm going to have him on this list anyway because he did attempt to murder Kimiko and Daniel. So he's my number 3. He's definitely in my top 5 if we're talking heroes or just characters in general in the Cobra Kai universe. Number 4, Mike Barnes for me. And then, I mean, there's not really much to talk about. He's the bad boy of karate. He's basically just Johnny, but eviler, more evil, more of an asshole. And I think number 4 is, I can't remember the guy's name, like the character's name, but if we're going to include the next Karate Kid, the stupid, like, military dude, played by Michael Ironside. He was helping with those, those young recruits or whatever, that he was just like teaching them the same shit. Pretty much just like a military version. Well, I mean, god damn it. I mean, he's just a ripoff of Kreese, really. But yeah, I mean, he's dead last for me. Which superhero series on the CW do you have the best CGI? Supergirls are worst for me. Superman Lois is the best. I mean, Superman Lois is definitely the best right now. Just because they're fresh out of the gate. They've got a better budget. And honestly, they've got the same CGI team that worked on WandaVision. So they've just got a more experienced, I think, studio working behind that show. So I kind of want to exclude Superman and Lois because it's a little bit of it's kind of an anomaly right now. It's not made with the same resources as the other CW shows, if we want to be fair. So I would have to say, out of everything else in the Arrowverse, I mean, Batwoman has the occasional CGI, but it's not really in there a lot. So I'm not going to say that either. But I would have to say The Flash has probably the best CGI if we're talking about the default shows. Because honestly, especially if we talk about the Gorilla Grodd episodes or any of the episodes with King Shark, those are some amazing effects that they do for those. With the budget they have on TV and the scale that they do those characters, especially the Grodd versus King Shark episode. It's almost like every season they kind of save their budget for the Grodd or King Shark episode to make sure that those two characters look as good as they do, because I was honestly blown away at how good the Flash King Shark was. And remember, they make these week to week. Like, they don't have like these long production times for episodes. They have to get things done. They're basically filming these episodes 2, 3, 4 weeks in advance before some of them even air. So it's pretty rough. Have I watched Chaos Walking? I have not. I've heard too many terrible things about that movie for me to put time watching it and like the trailer didn't really win me over. So I definitely have not watched that movie yet. That was the best. Sorry, I just read a little bit back, so I missed a comment from Blazer. Obviously, Will Smith's son is the best Karate Kid. The best thing about that movie is Jackie Chan was in it, but it should have been called something else because, well, for one, he didn't learn karate at all in that movie. He learned kung fu, so it should have been the Kung Fu Kid. But yeah. Superman flying is nice. I like the sonic boom. I love all the effects in this, man. It looks really cool. Flash Forces memes. I haven't really seen any of those. So if you got some, punch them into the Discord, man. Oh, guys, watch out. We got Darth Nihilus in here. He's going to suck out our force energy. Force energy. Anyway, who's my favorite Sith Lord? Oh, no. You're gonna be mad because it's definitely not you. Not that you're far down on the list, but Revan. Revan's my favorite Star Wars character, and he is by default my favorite Jedi, and by default my favorite Sith Lord, because he has been both. Darth Revan. I know you can't see it at the moment, obviously, because I've got this lovely setup in the where I'm at the coffee house at the moment, but I do have. Hold on a second. Actually, hold on. Got my lovely little Revan mask and I can put on. Then I got this the other day because somebody I think in my Discord pointed it out. This little, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on here or not. It's like this little hologram thing. You can they have like a whole series of these. Then you have the rave setting. Damn it. I don't know if they have, I can't remember if they have a Nihilist one or not. But yeah. Have I watched MODOK yet? I have not. Not yet. Because where that was like a Marvel comedy, I wasn't too sure about it, and maybe it'll be something we could react to on the channel later. So I just haven't watched it on my own yet, because I didn't want to, like, you know, spoil it for me, because it does seem like something that would be fun to maybe react to. So I just haven't watched it at the moment yet. But where we are so bogged down with all these shows at the moment, that's one of the reasons I haven't started it. When every metahuman created by Star Labs be their children. What's funny is I was watching Married to the Reels, one of their live streams yesterday. Not yesterday. It might have been 2 days ago. I don't know. It's all blending together right now. It's Trey was playing Apex, and I was in there talking. We were talking about the Flash and all that stuff, the forces, the whole family thing. And I was like, based on that logic, and based on that logic, isn't Eobard Thawne the father of every meta in Central City? If we want to use the same logic, the particle accelerator, his particle accelerator created them all. Is that not the same thing? So it's again, like, I get what they were going for with that logic, but when you start deconstructing the logic, it starts to fall apart a little bit. Batman versus friends. Who wins? No prep time. Like in a fight? Are we talking Batman versus like the friends from Friends? Like the sitcom? I would like some clarification on that one, man. Hey, Omni just got hit with nostalgia with the background. You're very welcome. I thought it'd be fun. I know, like I mentioned this a second ago. I was like, it's whining with Omni at the moment, and I'm usually drinking wine on these on the weekends and whatnot, but I have to drive after this whole thing's said and done, so I figured we'd make this a coffee episode. Let's see. Love it. So cool. Awesome. Have you seen For All Mankind? No, that's another show I have not watched, but I've heard good things about. Isn't that kind of about I don't really know what it's about though. I've just heard the name, and I know it's kind of big right now, but I kind of stay in the fantasy and comic realm most of the time because I like escapism. So I don't know. Are they going to restart Smallville again? Have I heard anything on that? No, I haven't heard anything about them restarting Smallville. and I highly doubt anything will ever come from that. The only thing I've heard recently is that Tom Welling said he would love for the Matt Reeves Batman to be in the same world as Smallville, because he would play Superman if it was in Robert Pattinson's Batman's universe. Which is the first time I've ever seen him actually say he would want to play Superman. Like, because he was very adamant about never putting on the suit and the cape. Like, he never wanted to wear a superhero outfit. So, if he's willing to do that for that, I mean, I feel like they should capitalize on that and go for it. Is the Friends reunion only on HBO Max? It is in the States, so I'm not sure if it's anywhere else. I don't know how to watch it anywhere else, so I'm not sure. I'm sorry. It looks like Elevator might have an answer there for you, though. Also, Oliver made everyone who had one kid have twins, which makes me kind of wonder, because the only reason that Diggle got 2 kids out of that whole thing is because Barry accidentally erased one and gave him a different kid. So when Oliver went in there and gave him both kids from both timelines, since both of those timelines got destroyed. So it makes me wonder, did they actually not get Jonathan back in the pre-crisis timeline? Because remember, they had that whole arc where they go to that future alternate Earth with Oliver, who doesn't have his arm and all of that, to save that baby. Was that actually their baby? Maybe that was somebody else's baby. Maybe that was Jordan. Maybe that's why they have twins now, is because of a fuck up in Crisis. And maybe that's why Jordan has powers and not Jonathan, because in the comics, there's only ever Jonathan. They don't have 2 kids in the comics. They just have Jonathan Kent, and Jonathan Kent has the powers. So this could be some leftover Crisis fuckery that we don't know about. Yes, the comedy and in a fight. Oh, no. I mean, Batman would whoop their asses, man. There's like not even a fight. I mean, Joey's the toughest one out of all of them, and that's debatable. Batman would take them all down. That's not even like, there's not even a competition there. Chandler might briefly distract with some sarcasm, but I think the Friends would go down like the Guardians of the Globe. Yep. Yeah, and I love the background. Absolutely loved the reunion, and I'm kind of glad they didn't do an episode. You know, I was disappointed until they actually addressed it, and I heard the creators talk about why they haven't even considered it. And I agree with that, because I feel like they I feel like there's a good chance, because but then again, you could have done another episode and not unraveled it. Like if it was just like they got together for Thanksgiving or Christmas or something, and it's just like a hangout episode. You don't have to unravel anyone's happy endings. But yeah, no, I get why they didn't do it. What's my favorite Star Wars game? I'm still gonna go with KOTOR. I think it's my favorite Star Wars game, though it does get a little hard to go back and play with how things have been. My favorite modern Star Wars game is probably Fallen Order. I had a lot of fun playing that game. Batman has the most unagi out of anybody. It's a miser. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself? Have I watched A Quiet Place 2 yet? No, I have not. Because I have not seen the first one, and I bought the first one last night, and I do plan on watching the first one this weekend, and then hopefully I might see Quiet Place 2 either tomorrow or Monday. We'll see. Favorite quote ever in like any TV show? What did I miss? Oh, you were quoting. Duh. How you doing? Am I bald? I am not. I got plenty of hair. It's just hard to keep it's just a mess. I pretty much just wear a beanie to keep my hair controlled and out of my face. I mean, I know I could get a haircut, but I don't like my hair when it's cut either, so I feel like just a hat is where we end the day off. What other shows would I like to see have a reunion? It would be very difficult at the moment, and aside from all the legal problems, I would argue I would want to see like a That 70s Show reunion, but Masters is kind of struggling with possibly going to jail for rape. So it is what it is there, because that was another show I used to watch all the time growing up. But yeah, man, more and more people in the just keep coming out with all this crazy shit, man. Also in the reunion, she looks the exact same age. Did I miss who you were talking about? I didn't see that in there. Let's see. How is everybody? What's up, Damon? What did you think of the Gotham show? I thought it was really cool. I really liked the first few seasons. And then it just kind of becomes a little bit of... What's the word I'm looking for? It starts to get very campy in the later half of the show. And I still enjoyed it. It was still not really what I expected, because I kind of wanted it to be serious. And it did get really dark when it wanted to get dark, but it was also very goofy. So I was always kind of mixed on it a little bit, but I did enjoy it a lot. I was super disappointed in the finale, and I posted a review of the finale when it came out. I thought the show was really good, but it was one of those shows where I felt like the finale just kind of disappointed almost on every level. Except for a few key things. I think the best thing in the finale was Cameron Monaghan, and he was the best thing in those later parts of the seasons too. He was fantastic, man. Underrated Joker. And I don't even say underrated. I think anybody that watched the show knows how good he is, but I don't think your mainstream really knows how good he was at playing that role. I've been keeping up with the castings on Green Lantern. Alan Scott had just got casted. I did see that they cast Alan Scott, though I'm just not familiar with that actor. I do remember that they cast Guy Gardner, and I think that the guy they got for him is a good choice. So I'm curious to see how that whole thing goes, because I like that guy in Finn Wittrock, I think is his name. I like him a lot in American Horror Story, so I think that'll be pretty cool. What Star Wars show or movie are you most looking forward to? Right now, the only movie I would say I'm looking forward to, let's break it down like 1-to-1 here. Out of the movies, because there's only 2 that have been announced right now that are being made, and we don't know jack shit about one of them, other than it's being directed by Taika Waititi. And for that reason alone, that's the Star Wars movie I'm looking forward to seeing. Out of all the Star Wars shows that have been announced that I'm looking forward to, let's say other than The Mandalorian, because I'm already loving The Mandalorian and have been reacting to The Mandalorian, we'll remove that from the equation, because obviously I'm going to be excited for Mandalorian Season 3. But out of everything else... I gotta go with Obi-Wan. I am really looking forward to Obi-Wan, seeing Ewan McGregor back in the robes on Tatooine with Hayden Christensen coming back as Vader. And I can't wait for that, man. Book of Boba Fett, I'm really excited for, but you throw me Vader and Obi-Wan, I'm going to be, and especially with both of them coming back, I am ready for that. Especially when they tease that they will be somehow having another face-off. What's my opinions on Aaron Taylor Johnson being cast as Kraven the Hunter? I'll be honest, when I heard it, I was like, really? Really? I don't know. But I said the same things. I've said the same things when they cast Heath Ledger as Joker. So I'll see what they do. I've seen some fan edits that kind of have reworked him to look like Kraven. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can kind of see it. I do think he needs to bulk up a little bit more, but that's something he could probably easily do. He's still fairly young, so it's not going to be hard for him to bulk up for the role. So I do hope that they do have him like get some chunky ass arms for this role, because Kraven is one of those powerhouse characters. So he's got to look imposing with those sleeveless vests, man. So I think it's doable. It's just definitely was not my first pick, or would have ever been, especially since they just pretty much announced today via Variety that Sony has confirmed that they are building a shared universe with their stuff and Marvel. Now, how they're doing that, obviously, I'm sure has some connections to what is happening from WandaVision to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. They've already confirmed that past villains from alternate timelines are in the next Spider-Man movie. So them recasting somebody that has been in the MCU before as somebody in the Spider-Verse is viable right now, which is kind of weird to say, but I think that I can't wait to see how they execute it. Do you think they'll address the fact that I don't know? That's a good question, because they I don't know if they will address it. It depends on who comes into contact with him, because only certain people would remember his face. So it just depends, because I mean, Tom Holland never met Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver, so he wouldn't or shouldn't know what he looks like. So it only depends on if like Wanda or somebody shows up or Clint shows up and is like, you look familiar. Well, I don't know why they would be involved in a Kraven story, but it's kind of curious to see how that whole thing goes. I feel like it's still separate, but the multiverse will be in the same within Sony and MCU. I don't think they will all currently inhabit the same Earth. I don't know, man. Based on that new article Variety put out today, they're building something connecting them all together. If it is, it feels like they're trying to bridge their Spider-Verse with the MCU. So we really just got to wait and see what they do, because it's really hard to like speculate, because there's so many open-ended questions on what's going on right now. Penguin and Riddler were the best parts of Gotham. I agree with that. They were my favorite two characters in the show. What upcoming MCU films and shows am I most excited for? The shows that I'm most excited for that they have announced right now is She-Hulk, because I think that would be really funny. It's just they said it's like a 30-minute courtroom drama comedy. I'm down for that. I think it sounds like a good like break with everything that's been going on. Otherwise, I'm kind of interested in seeing what they do with Moon Knight, but I'm down for something that's just a straight turn your brain off kind of comedy thing. I think I'm curious to see how that whole thing pans out. As far as films go, the film I am the most excited for is Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel character, so I'm down to see how they bring that back to life and how they are bringing all this crazy shit we're all hearing together. So I think I'm the most excited for that. Just behind that, though, is Multiverse of Madness. I am really excited to see what Sam Raimi does with this crazy universe bending shit that's going on. Who's my choice for the next Black Panther? Shuri, Nakia, M'Baku, or a new character? See, I don't know about that. Like, if I had to pick who would take up the Black Panther mantle, I would have to say either M'Baku or Shuri. The thing is, Kevin Feige's been so weird about how they're addressing Chadwick Boseman's passing, because they were like, he's too pivotal to recast, so they're not going to have a new T'Challa. He also said they're not going to kill off T'Challa. And they wouldn't have anybody else be the Black Panther. So, like, what do you do? I don't know what they're gonna do. Let's see. Hi, how you doing? Can I say I'm just a massive fan? Aw, I thank you, Such. I really appreciate that. I'm doing pretty good so far today. I'm having a fairly alright afternoon. You guys have uplifted the spirits a little bit. Not that they were down. I think the nap really kind of helped that. I woke up a little grumpy today. I won't lie, but I'm doing fine right now. Oh, how about you? How are you doing? I think of Craven. I think of an experienced hunter. So going for a younger actor seems strange. Happy to hear Sony's verse is merging with the MCU. You know, how old is Aaron Taylor Johnson right now? God damn it, man. Him and Elizabeth Olsen are both younger than me. So yeah, he is 30. So I mean, it's possible to make that work. They would have to have like a convincing backstory, I think. Because I always saw Craven as like an older character. Like, he was much older than Peter. Like, he had been doing what he has been doing for a long time. So, I'm curious to see how they do this. Maybe it's a Craven origin, and then we'll see, like, an older Craven later. I don't know. I don't know how they'll tackle it. But, yeah, I kind of would have figured they would have had, like, an older actor play him. Like, when they said Jason Momoa was talking about it, I thought that would be a great idea. Let me know if the stream's cut out or not. I've got a spinning circle on here. Personally, I would have loved someone like Henry Cavill as Craven. He could grow a nice mustache for it. I would have said no to that, like I would have said no to him being Geralt. Like, he just looks too chiseled and clean to play like a rough and tumble character like that. But yeah, Witcher proved me wrong on that, so Henry Cavill could probably make a good Craven. If Venom 2 doesn't address the blip, it would answer if they were on the same Earth. We'll have to wait and see. It also could be they are not on the same Earth yet. Just think about that too, because we know for a fact that Tom Holland's in this universe, and they have already confirmed that Alfred Molina is playing the Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2. So either they're hopping between multiverses or the multiverses are merging. Kind of like with Crisis on Infinite Earths, where, you know, the multiverse gets destroyed, and then what happens is this amalgamation of all of the best aspects of every Earth to create one Earth. Could be that, or it just could be them fucking around, hopping in and out of alternate realities. So it really all hinges on how No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness address the multiverse aspect of all of this. Because they could easily connect them, but have them be on alternate realities, you know? kind of like how Arrow and all that does it. Like, they've connected to the DCEU, to Christopher Reeve's Superman, but the Christopher Reeves Superman and all that stuff isn't on their continuity. So you can do these things separately, kind of like the Matt Reeves Batman is separate from Ben Affleck's Batman, so you could kind of play with it. You can open the possibilities of them crossing over by bridging these worlds, but not having them on the same Earth. But like I said, it just comes down to how they address how this is all happening. It's all about Moochie. She is so cute. We definitely need more of her. Till Luke eventually kills her. I know a lot of people have pointed out that the Rancor at Jabba's palace was named something else according to the Aftermath novel, which is the first time the thing has had a name. But there's two possibilities with that. Either Dave Filoni doesn't give a shit and he retconned that because he's retconning a lot of things from Disney's canon lately. Or that Moochie grows up and births the one that Luke kills later. Really hoping for Daredevil to show up. Me too, man. Charlie Cox was the best thing on the Defenders universe to me. I love that casting. It's the one and only version of Daredevil I've ever actually cared about. So I really hope that they bring some of them back over and bring them in. Cross my fingers that Deadpool appears in Multiverse of Madness. There's a strong chance. There's a really strong chance. They gotta explain how he ends up in the MCU at least in some way. He said there wouldn't be another Black Panther. Isn't the film still titled The Black Panther? Yeah, it is. That's why I'm so confused. It's because it just seems like he was trying to not say anything that would upset anybody around the time that Chadwick Boseman passed, for obvious reasons. But a lot of what he said just kind of contradicts how you would be able to make a movie and continue it. So it could have all been fluff. It could have all been just stuff to say to not upset the fandom at the moment, at the time of his passing. They gotta address it somehow. I mean, I just don't know how you would do it. With the name Wakanda Forever, I don't think the movie will be actually about Black Panther. It'll be about people of Wakanda, and maybe near the end we'll discuss the actual Black Panther. And I think that would irritate a lot of people if they did that route too, though. I don't see what the best way forward is with that situation. I personally think it would be fine to recast the character, because I think the T'Challa character is bigger than any one actor. Not to put any of, like, not to rein or devalue Chadwick Boseman, because that's not at all the intent. But I feel like the character deserves to keep going. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. All right, the stream didn't cut out. That's good. I could see a crisis event happening too. Yeah. I'm hoping that's what happens with it, because I think that would be easier to manage, is just to combine everything and just stop saying it's all disconnected, just meld it all together. Imagine if Daredevil takes off his mask in the MCU and it's Ben Affleck. Oh no. No. And then he turns to the camera and says, "Suck it, Warner Brothers." I just hope Spider-Man No Way Home isn't messy. Like, just don't put in too many characters. Here's the thing about that. Where I think that became a problem with Spider-Man a long time ago, with Kevin Feige providing guidance on Sony's Spider-Man projects. I mean, he's handled movies that focused on 8, 10 plus characters, and they've all come out coherent in the end. So it's possible to have a lot of things happening in this movie, a lot of characters in this movie, and it not lose focus. So we just gotta wait and see, man. We just gotta wait and see. But I'm not that worried about it being cram-packed. I was just hoping it would be more story focused on Peter, since that's kind of what they set up. like a Peter focused character story, since he finally kind of cut the umbilical cord with Iron Man at the end of Far From Home to be his own person finally, to detach himself from Tony. So I was kind of hoping to see like a situation where it was just an intimate kid on the run trying to prove his innocence kind of thing. And then they were like, nah, we're going to throw the multiverse into it. So I hope it all comes together. Thor Love and Thunder is already giving us a Zeus. Yep. I'd punch someone in the face if that happened. Jack Creer, what was that? Oh, the Ben Affleck thing. Well, the good thing about the MCU is that they seem to have thought the whole time travel thing, multiverse rules, so we'll understand more of that. I expect after Loki comes up too. I think so too. I think Loki is going to give us a lot of key elements about how the multiverse is going to work and how the time travel is going to work in that film, that show. So I'm looking forward to that, man. We're about less than 2 weeks away right now. Oh, hell yeah. I just finished filming today. So did you guys see like the Tessa Thompson stuff with Taika Waititi? I thought that was kind of funny. Going around the internet right now. Taika Waititi, man. He must have some moves. Let's see. Do you think we'll see Henry Cavill back as Superman in the DCEU, maybe in Black Adam or Shazam? They pretty much confirmed he wouldn't be in Shazam, but with Dwayne Johnson heavily campaigning for Black Adam to make sure that it is in the DCEU, because he wants to face off against Henry Cavill Superman. So I think we might have a good chance of him showing up in Black Adam, maybe in the post-credits scene. But I don't think Shazam's going to play with that at all. Not yet, at least. I think the character's too valuable just to get rid of. I just think T'Challa will be gone and a new Black Panther will be chosen. Yeah, but like then you have the questions like, where is he? Where'd he go? What happened? Where did he come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Like, I just don't know. How do you explain him just not being in Wakanda? See, it just raises a lot of questions. Like, I don't want it to be like this Batwoman thing where they're like, the entire time you're like, Bruce just disappeared 2 years ago and no one's ever seen him. The city's not had a Batman in ages. And it's like, he still exists. He's still out there. They haven't said he's dead. They haven't said he's whatever. He's just off somewhere for some reason doing something. I want answers. So I hope they don't like just, I don't know. I just don't hope they try to sweep everything under the rug and try to like, you know, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think you guys know what I'm trying to say, but I'm out of words at the moment. MCU really has all they need to introduce villains for She-Hulk, like Red Hulk, and maybe they could work Scar in somehow. I'm looking forward to that too, because we can also see, because she's going to specialize in like meta-human cases, superhero-related cases. So we could see a lot of people we haven't seen before. Maybe a lot more ground-level people coming into the courtroom. I almost expect it to kind of be a little bit like Harvey Birdman, except a little more serious. But I'm looking forward to it. I think there's a lot of fun ways you can go about with it. Who's my pick to play MCU Wolverine? I don't know. I really don't have a good pick. Carl Urban, though, just reading down the list a little bit with Jay Black there. I could see that. It just it depends on how young they want to make Logan in this one, in this universe. But I don't know. I honestly don't have a personal preference on who they cast currently. Isn't it crazy that we have not had a bad Jim Gordon? Yeah. I mean, I don't remember the Jim Gordon from like the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher era all that much. But yeah, otherwise, I really don't think we've had a bad Jim Gordon. Because I really like Ben McKenzie, even though he like never had the mustache until way later. I think he did a fantastic job. I think it would be impossible to recast T'Challa, in my opinion. Like, if something happened to RDJ before Infinity War, it would be impossible to recast. I don't know. That's why I said it's a tough call. There's like, it almost feels like there's no way to win and please everybody with whatever you do with it. It's just unfortunate. And honestly, I feel like that if RDJ died before Infinity War, they would have CGI'd him into the movie. I honestly think they would have. I just hope we have Miles and Spider-Gwen in Sony and keep Tom Holland in the MCU. That would be cool. That would be interesting. I'd be okay with that. Kinda. I mean, we know that Miles exists in the MCU. He was referenced in Homecoming. Kevin Feige is the only executive anywhere that I fully trust. Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly right there. Though with Bob Chapek in control and them shifting focus on getting shit out and not really focusing on theaters and whatnot, I'm a little concerned about the overall management of Disney and their various properties that I care about. But Kevin Feige has a good fucking head on his shoulders, man. And I really trust his direction on all this stuff. I really hope that John Bernthal and Vincent D'Onofrio come back to the MCU. I agree. I love John Bernthal as the Punisher. Again, the Punisher is one of those characters I have never really liked. Like, I've just never felt the character likable, like in the comics or games or even the past movies. But there was just something about the Punisher show on Netflix and John Bernthal's performance that I really loved. And Vincent D'Onofrio, I feel like, is like an RDJ level casting as far as it goes to Kingpin. You could replace him, but man, I think he nailed that character so well. It would just be disappointing, honestly, seeing anybody else in the role. But of course, who knows? There's always going to be somebody else. People move on. Things get rebooted. But if they can, and they have the means, and they have the multiverse, there's no reason that they can't right now. Ruffalo is supposed to be in She-Hulk, right? Yes. Yep. He is going to be in... I'm pretty sure they've already straight confirmed it, that he's in She-Hulk. Based on Endgame, though, Hulk didn't look like he was changing back to normal anytime soon, so having a CGI character like that on a TV show is impressive. Also, I mean, considering She-Hulk herself is always in her Hulk form. So I'm curious how they're going to do that and how they're going to shoot that and how's that going to perform on screen like that. So it's going to be pretty cool to see how they bring that to life. But he's got to be in there for her to get the powers because of the blood transfusion. Because that's how she gets the Hulk abilities, is through... She needs a blood transfusion. His blood matches hers. They are related. So he donates and it turns her into a half Hulk thing person. Oh no! I just spilled coffee on my shirt. Let's see. It's a tough call. Yeah, for sure. Out of any Marvel character, who would you want the MCU to introduce? So like the MCU for a character they have that has not been introduced at all. And are we counting like introducing, are we going to include or exclude Marvel characters that we have seen before, just not in the MCU? Clarify that and then I'll answer. Do I know about the Rugrats reboot? I think it's No, it can't be a continuation. Never mind. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen the trailer for it. I've seen they've got the original creators on board for it. But it feels like I think it's supposed to be like a continuation. So I don't know. So we just have to see on that one. I don't know if I do not like the CGI animation. I am not a fan of CGI animation in general over 2D animation. So I do not like the way the show looks right now. Would I rather a Marvel versus DC video game or an animated movie? I think a video game would be cool. I think an animated movie would also be cool, but I don't think we'll ever see anything like that in the short term. Maybe many years later, after Warner Media finally gets sold again and Disney buys it. Do I think Marvel's going to cast John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic? I don't know, man. According to that magazine that came out yesterday, they said they did. But there's a lot of weird things in that magazine. It makes me think that because there's just a lot of things that they put in there that is just rumor, and then they treated it as rumor, not as fact, even though it was a joint effort between Marvel and that printing company to put out these words. It's so confusing. I would like them to. I think he looks great for it. New G.I. Joe movie Snake Eyes trailer. Your thoughts? Check out my reaction. I liked it. Snake Eyes is the only character in the G.I. Joe universe I like. Him and Storm Shadow. I don't think I'm alone in that. In a lot of ways. Got some mixed opinions about him about his face being revealed and him talking, but I'm sure they're building to him becoming the silent assassin. Do you think DC can ever catch up to the Marvel universe? No. Maybe, because I think at some level maybe the Marvel universe might lose steam one day, and then maybe the DC will never come close if they can't get their house in order, man. And it's not. They've got no hope of ever getting there right now until they fix everything that they've got going on in-house. It could be any character, even ones we've seen before. Personally, I want Inhumans. I've never really read much about the Inhumans, so I don't really know a whole lot about them. But if I had my pick, a character I would really want to be introduced into the MCU that they haven't done, at least in the MCU, would probably be... Man, that's a tough one. I gotta think. Who have they not done that I actually give a shit about? Man, that's a tough one. Because, I feel like they've done a lot of the characters already that I would have picked. I mean, there's other ones, obviously. They're all Spider-Man related. Mostly. So, if we're counting everything, even ones we've seen before, I'm going to have to... it's going to be stupid because we have Venom going on, but I'm going to say Venom. Because I really just want to see Venom face off against Tom Holland. Emily Blunt is tired of our fan casts. I'm sure a lot of actors and actresses are tired of fan casts because that causes them to get questions and interviews all the time about these popular fan casts and stuff like that. So they've got to get burned out on it eventually. Have I still not seen Logan yet? I still haven't seen it yet. I'm glad you remember I haven't seen it. But yeah, I haven't seen it yet. again, I know it's a serious movie, so like when I'm on my downtime, I really need some strong motivation to watch a movie that I know is going to be serious and depressing. Finding the right time to do that's kind of hard because I just don't want to bring my mood down. Am I excited for the Flash movie? I still wish Ray Fisher was in the Flash film. I hope we get to see Grant Gustin as a cameo in the Flash movie. I am excited for it, and there are things that they've announced that I'm excited for over at DC. I just don't have that trust in them for, even though I'm excited for it, I am all for expecting them to disappoint me, even in the films that I am looking forward to. I think there's a good chance Grant Gustin will be in the Flash film. And Ray Fisher said he's open to being in the Flash movie if they want to talk to him again. So it all comes down to how this whole thing progresses. So they've already started shooting the movie. I think they're, according to the interview that they gave with Grace Randolph, their VFX crew, they're finally into their 10th day of shooting, so they're making some progress with it, man. It's a shame that about DC. Arguably, it would have been a lot easier to turn the DCEU into a success, considering Marvel started out third-string heroes the other studios didn't want to use. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. What's funny about that to me is everybody always calls Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, all them these B-string and C-string heroes over at Marvel. It always begged the question to me, if they were B-string, C-string heroes, who the fuck was their A-string? Was it just Spider-Man and the X-Men? Because honestly, growing up, those were the only two I ever cared about. But yeah, there was but DC is like the opposite way around. Like they have these icons. Like a lot of the time when you first think of superheroes, your mind most of the time will go to Superman, Batman, like the pantheon of these gods over at DC. And then when it comes to building all this stuff, like despite that popularity, they can't make like a good story about it in live action. I mean, Chris Nolan came in and he did something interesting with it, but it's just like Warner just doesn't know what to fucking do with anything they have. They've tried to continue Harry Potter all on its own without any material, like with Fantastic Beasts, and that's been a little bit of a train wreck. Look what happened with Game of Thrones. Look what's happening with the DCEU. It's just like they can make good like single movies, but they can't franchise a damn thing. I don't know. It just baffles my mind. Because it should be easy. Like it should be just as easy for them to pull do what Marvel does, but or at least just be consistent. I just don't understand it. And I still like what Zack did. It was just untraditional. It wasn't the traditional run of any of these characters. And I think that honestly is what hurt it in a lot of people's eyes, is because it wasn't a representation of the most iconic characters of their lineup. I mean, it had Batman, had Superman, but it wasn't the Batman and Superman from the comics. I mean, it was from Frank Miller's comics, but that's a very specific kind of Batman that not a lot of people like, because I don't like any. I don't like Frank Miller's Batman comics except for year one, and I think that's the most reined in he's ever been with that character. I don't like Frank Miller's work in general, personally. At least in the DC universe. I'm excited about the HBO rumors with Deathstroke show with Joe Manganiello. I'm not excited about anything that is not confirmed yet. So like where it's a rumor, like I would love that, but I think they're too fucking stupid and they are too big a cowards to touch anything from that universe right now. So I wish they would. I would love to see it. I was excited to see him in future films, and they dropped. That was another ball that they dropped, man. 1 week break. I wanted to watch The Flash next Tuesday. Is Flash on break? I thought it was still airing next week. Last time I looked at the schedule, it was still on air next week. I'll be honest, from a YouTube standpoint, I would be super happy if it was on break. Wait, I got my weeks mixed up. Yeah, it is on break yesterday. Damn it. But it's coming out the same week that Loki airs. Fuck. Dude, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are going to suck. And guys, I'll let you all know right now, Superman Lois is probably going to be coming out a little bit later in the afternoon to what you guys are used to, because Flash comes out, Superman comes out, Loki comes out, all in the same evening for me. I really am upset about Marvel releasing Loki on Wednesdays. It's fucking bullshit. At first I was like, oh, that's cool. That means I don't have to worry about doing 2 shows on Friday, you know, Bad Batch and Loki. But then I was like, wait a minute. I got 3 shows I have to watch Tuesday night then. And Loki's obviously going to be the one that gets the most views. So that's the one I'm going to be focusing on. So Flash and Superman Lois, while Loki is on, is more than likely going to get the love and attention, while Flash and Superman Lois kind of get pushed to the back burner. So expect those to possibly be a little later than you're used to, guys. Loki, though, I will be doing what I usually do for those shows and waking up at 3 just to watch it and get that out for everybody. How would I rank the current airing Arrowverse seasons so far against each other? Well, Superman and Lois, number 1. Flash, number 2. Supergirl, number 3. Legends, number 4. Oh, wait, shit. I forgot Black Lightning. What did I just say? Okay. Superman, number 1. Flash, number 2. Black Lightning, number 3. Supergirl, number 4. Legends, number 5. And Batwoman, dead last. Spider-Man, the X-Men, and the Hulk were their A tier. See, when you think about it, it's weird because the X-Men is like a group. So there's a lot of core X-Men under that tent pole, since it's like a team comic. So it's like, it feels like all of their eggs were in an X-Men, like a majority of their A tier eggs were in the X-Men basket. Like, you didn't really have that over at DC, and maybe that's just why when people think of that, a lot of the characters they call to are Spider-Man or the X-Men, and then you have the Hulk and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird. Like, it's just so weird. I mean, Justice League is literally the basis for superheroes. Look at The Boys, Invincible, Jupiter's Legacy, all with discounts, Superman and Batman. You're not wrong. I mean, DC, I think, DC predates Marvel with the whole classical superhero thing, right? Did you hear they confirmed Willem Dafoe Green Goblin will be the main villain in Spider-Man No Way Home? They confirmed it? I don't have links turned on. All right, hold on. Fact checking with Omn1. I saw that it was still a rumor. Yeah, it's still rumored. Yeah, it's still not confirmed. Though I wouldn't be surprised. That's been a heavy rumor for a hot minute. I still want to see Ben Affleck Batman solo project with Deathstroke, because that story sounded really cool, and I'm really sad that it's not getting made. DC has too many different iterations of the same characters. It divides fans. Like Birds of Prey Harley is too different from classic Harley, and she's different from the Harley Quinn show Harley. You're not wrong. I mean, if they had just focused on doing like traditional retellings of these characters, I think they would have been fine. But they got Zach, and again, all the love to Zach. I love Zach as a person. I mixed on a lot of his movies. I do, in the end, as the years have passed, grown to love the direction that he built. But I definitely know, as a fan of DC, that the direction he took with those properties is one that was made to be divisive, because he himself likes challenging the boundaries of superhero comic books. And not a lot of people wanted that. And I can tell you for sure that I didn't want that when I first watched them. I only kind of eased up on it over the years once I kind of understood what they were trying to do. It's just, for me personally, that wouldn't have been the direction I would have taken if I was going to be building a universe that would be successful. But I still want them to. I still wish he could finish his vision, because I want to see those movies. What is the COVID-19 situation out there? Still hot and heavy. We're not locked down. A lot of people here are already vaccinated. I just got my first shot the other day, so I'm waiting to get the other one. Our theaters are back open. Everything's back open. A lot of places, it's, obviously still a mask rule and all that, whatnot. But yeah, seems they're starting to ease up on a lot of things. What villain do I want to see in Captain America 4? I don't know. I don't know the Captain America mythos well enough to pick a villain. I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know who you could go with. Because the only Captain America villain I knew before the MCU was Red Skull. And we've kind of already done that. That ship seems to have already sailed. What do you think about the Force's arc, and are you excited for the other arc in season 7? I thought it was interesting. I got a little tired of them making Barry fucking stupid. He made a lot of mistakes and decisions that Barry has made before, and has been a character arc before that they had him make again. That was just like, God damn it, we've done this. Get out. I think my favorite thing about it, though, was like seeing the Forces, their different abilities, and how they came together. I felt like Nora's turnaround was, again, a little too quick. I do like the resolution about it. I do like the final episode of that arc. I thought it was really cool. A lot of things were a little rushed, despite having a bunch of episodes to build into it. The Caitlyn stuff was for nothing, considering she's just free again. There's a lot of things about it that just frustrate me. I'm excited to have a fucking speedster villain in the next arc with Godspeed, and I'm excited about all the crossover stuff that Twitter has ruined for me, that I know, not crossover stuff, all the reunion stuff on the Flash that's coming that has been spoiled to me, but thanks to Twitter. Yeah, the power love thing, please just fucking stop it. I need to see superheroes do superhero things. I'm tired. Like, it was fine for some one-offs here and there, and I feel like here it did apply more than we have seen it apply in previous seasons. But yeah, we've seen it so many times at this point that I really would have liked to see them do something different. Though I do think the CGI and the VFX budget has been a lot better this season so far. I wouldn't have gone with Zach's plan, but at least he had a plan. Yeah, I agree with that. And that's the thing too. Like, And that's kind of the problem with Army of the Dead that's going on right now. A lot of people, a lot of the major complaints about Army of the Dead. Zack, when he knows there are multiple movies coming, and they told him these movies were coming, the deal was to have a Justice League 2 and 3. So he wrote a story that was going to build into a Justice League 1, 2, and 3. So there are things about BVS that are, a lot of it is set up, a lot of it doesn't have anything to do with the current movie, but it would pay off later. But those setups distracted a lot of people in that movie, so it confused a lot of people in that movie, especially the Barry Allen scene. Like us, comic readers, we knew what the fuck that was. We knew what that was. We knew what that meant. But your general audiences will have no idea what that is. And that at that point, people don't know what the movie they're watching is really about. So they might not check in for the next movie that actually gives you the answers. Given the version of the movie that we got didn't answer those questions, it ignored those questions, but it would have paid off. The thing is, when you set it up like that, in that way, and again, BVS had a lot of meddling too, because it also had to have a director's cut come out, which vastly improved the movie. I think it's still the sloppiest of his films, but the Ultimate Edition does greatly enhance it than the version they went with for the theatrical version, which he admits is not the version he wanted to go with. That being said, he has this problem with restraint. Like when he has control, he loves to go in excess, and you can see that in everything he does. And I feel like there was just too much going on in that movie for a lot of people to kind of grip onto. And then the oopsies cuts, exactly. And then the thing is, though, if you stayed along for the ride, those things would have paid off, because once you see Snyder Cut and you go back and watch Man of Steel, BVS, dots connect. That's just not how you get a mainstream audience on board, though, because you have to have people committed to follow the journey. Army of the Dead kind of did that, because there's a lot of setups that mean nothing for the story that you're watching, and it just confuses the viewer, and then you expect them to come back to find the explanation in a later movie. And then Warner Brothers, being the incompetent company they are, the cowardly company they were at the time, took the backlash from BVS. The backlash to BVS set the stage for everything that happened after. The backlash to BVS, because while it wasn't a massive success, Man of Steel was mildly divisive, but overall pretty well received. But BVS, man, because it took that darker edge, that darker route, and was trying really hard to set up all of these threads for later films and spin-offs and stuff like that, they rather than allow Zack to pay all of that off, because he did have a plan, they were scared to proceed. So they were like, nope, we got to course correct. We got to turn this into Marvel somehow. We can't challenge the general audience. They're not smart enough to understand where this all goes if we give them the answers. So they 180'd. They created the Joss Whedon cut, which just creates more confusion. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed it when it came out, because I was just dumbfounded and excited to see all of those characters on screen, on the big screen. So they could have done anything, and I would have been, at least despite the plot being dumb, excited to see the Justice League in live action. And I did enjoy it. But it didn't make sense. Like, you could tell what was a response to BVS and what wasn't. Like, it was just obvious. And then it just, you all know the story. I could talk about this for hours. They wanted to please the general audience
rather than challenge anybody. Because I think, like, listening to Zach and how he explains a lot of his decisions sometimes make the movie better for me as a viewer, because it just, like, even though, like, the movie should tell you what the intent was, sometimes hearing it kind of makes it a little bit better. But I don't know. I go back and forth on that all the time. And yeah, the Batman versus Superman logo has existed for a long time. It was in I Am Legend. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they've been trying to bring that to life for many years. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't the right direction to go if you were wanting to please everybody. It was definitely the direction to go to stand out from Marvel. But then it didn't have the reception that they wanted. And I feel like that had they continued, had they followed through, that the opinion on BVS might have softened. I don't think anybody would have completely 180'd on the movie, but I think it would have softened it a lot for other people had they just committed to what they were doing. Yeah, I'd like if they at least continued Zach's vision in like a comic book or animated series. I think that would be cool. But they don't want anything to do with him now. Yeah, I mean, they hate working with him. And he's being very honest about his feelings about them now. Now that they've completely cut the cord on him, like, he'd been very, very polite about how they've been treating him. But then he's like, working with them, getting the Snyder Cut released was torture. And then he did this Stephen Colbert thing yesterday where he just says, suck it, Warner Brothers. And I love his, like, shade that he throws is like, when I work with my actors, I trust them. I'm not there to torture anybody. I like people. I like my movies to have people in them. And then just throw in the shade, man. Do you think The Flash could go 10 seasons like Smallville did? I think out of all of the shows they got right now, it's the one with the most potential to keep going. But they really got to change something about the way they are structuring these seasons and writing these seasons. Otherwise, season 8, like some people are rumoring, could very well be the last one. I'm still waiting for the behind-the-scenes beef to come out between China and Crest on Black Lightning. I think eventually we'll find out about it. Stuff like that doesn't stay behind the scenes very long. Is there anything specifically I want to see in the other arc of season 7? A lot of speedsters. I just want to see speedsters being speedsters. I want to see less talking down your enemies. I want to see more superheroes being superheroes and fighting things, saving people. Less talking. Less talking. I know Danielle Panabaker, last they said she was negotiating her contract for season 8. So she's still at least in talks for the next season. I've heard nothing about Jesse Martin. But I'd be very sad to see Joe go, because I love Jesse Martin as an actor and just in general all the way back to like the X-Files days and back when he was in stuff like Rent, things like that. Like I've liked him as an actor long before he was ever on The Flash. So if he goes away, like I will be a little saddened by that. He's one of my favorite bits in there, but I also have just a personal love for that actor that he brings to this character that I just really like. And I am excited to see Jay, Nora, and Impulse and all of that in this upcoming season. I'm just curious to see how they explain it all, how it all comes back into the loop. Am I excited about Stranger Things season 4? I haven't watched Stranger Things at all. That's one of those shows that I have not watched yet. I haven't even started Stranger Things, so Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say no because I haven't even watched the show yet. I really hope we get a rooftop scene in Batman with Jeffrey Wright and Robert Pattinson. I mean, we kind of have to, right? It's almost in the DNA of Batman, just like seeing the pearls anytime he flashes back to his origin. You gotta see some rooftop scenes with I almost said Alfred. Fuck. Jim Gordon and the Bat. I am looking forward to that movie, even if it isn't the follow-up we wanted. I think it looks good, and I'm down for it, man. I like Robert Pattinson as an actor, so I'm curious to see what he brings to the table on it. I'm always going to be saddened that we aren't getting any more Batfleck focused films, and that the fact that we never actually even got a Batfleck focused film sucks, man. Have you seen the new gameplay reveals the past 2 days, like Horizon Forbidden West, Dying Light 2, and Far Cry 6? They all look amazing. I haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn, so I'm assuming that's a continuation of that. Dying Light 2, I didn't see anything for that yet. I did see the Far Cry stuff. I've never been a huge Far Cry fan. I've also never played one, so that's probably another reason. I never really got too into them. But with Giancarlo Esposito in this one, I might check this one out. But I didn't watch the gameplay for it. Like anymore because of my lack of time, mostly due to work and focusing on the channel and all these shows. I don't have as much time as I usually used to have for playing games. There's the occasional series that comes out with a release like Resident Evil, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, stuff like that, where I'll stop my life to play it. But unfortunately, none of those games are that. I have Dying Light. I still have yet to actually finish it, though. Have we ever had a bad Alfred? No. Dude, even on the 2001 Birds of Prey TV show, Alfred was still boss. If you guys haven't watched that, it's a fun watch. It's very cheesy, very corny, and very of its age, but it has a charm to it that I ended up really, really liking. Even Justice League had a rooftop sequence. Yep. Apparently Dave Bautista wanted to play Bane in the Batfleck films. He just wants to play Bane in general. He approached WB to ask if they had any plans to have Bane in any upcoming projects, because he really wants to play Bane, and they just told him no. We have no plans of using Bane. It's shit like that that makes me not trust anything that WB's doing. Michael Caine, baby, he's dope. Michael Caine. Will I be reacting to Stargirl? Yeah, I will be. I reacted to season 1, so I'll be tuning in for season 2 as well. Bro, I was jealous of your house till I saw the green screen. Yeah, man. Dude, I wish I lived in a house that had a full replica of Central Perk in it. That would be some extra shit I would do if I was rich. Realistically, would I do that? No. But it would be a fun thought. I mean, honestly, I've thought about, like, if I was rich, what kind of shit would I do? And honestly, I don't want, like, anything huge. I'd just have a modest little house just to have a little nice stream room, pool, a big TV. That's pretty much all I need, man. I'd be fine. Dave Bautista wants to do a Gears movie. At some point, that was supposed to happen. I remember that. They were supposed to be making one, and then it just disappeared. I would love Dave as Marcus. That'd be a good casting. I'd be okay with that. I'd be curious about checking out a Gears of War film. I never got into the games. I could not get past the gameplay. I hated the feeling of the controls in those games. I could have also been heavily biased because I was a Halo kid. So like, just the weird way that those games played, I just couldn't ever get into it. Though, funny story, I bought the first game only because Xbox Live used to do these things where every so often they would have a weekend where they would dedicate a sweepstakes to anybody that played multiplayer on Xbox Live of a specific game. And they did, it was before the release of X-Files, I Want to Believe, in 2008, when that movie came out to screen. The first big screen X-Files movie since the show came to a close. Obviously, you had the original X-Files movie, which came out in like 97. But in 2008, of course, they were promoting that. So for whatever reason, they were giving away a full box set of all of the DVDs of the entire X-Files series to a select few that played Gears of War over the weekend. I did not own Gears of War. For every hour you were logged on, you got one entry. So I bought that game, and I had two TVs turned on. I had my Xbox plugged into... No, I didn't. I had a TV with PIP, picture-in-picture, if anybody remembers that shit. I don't know if that's still a thing. But I had it hooked up to one input, had it pipped into another screen, and I was that dickhead that logs into your... PvP match and AFKs. I just made sure that I'd never AFK'd, and I had that shit on for 24/7 straight all weekend long, and lo and behold, I have an X-Files box set from that sweepstakes, bitches. Let's just say, I want to believe. Me too, right? Ah, so good. If I was given control of DC movies today, what are the first moves I would pull? Let's pretend Zach doesn't want to work with WB, though. So are you saying, like, what would I want to do, but I can't bring Zach back? I would, if I couldn't have Zach back or continue his journey, I would be like, boom, Man of Steel 2, Henry Cavill boy, get in here. Ben Affleck, Joe Manganiello, your movie's happening. We have a multiverse, so Battinson can still exist over there. I would have an Arrowverse movie. I can tell you for damn sure I would have an Arrowverse movie.
There's no way to prove that.
Give them the budget they deserve. What I think, I know like people shit on the Arrowverse all the time because of the budgets and all that shit, but like, and the writing obviously, but think about this though. You got to have this perspective. WB being the shitheads they did, and the cast crew writers, Greg Berlanti, Mark Guggenheim, all the people that headed all of the CW Arrowverse stuff have been pretty open about how restrictive WB was on what they were allowed to do, what characters they were allowed to mention, to include, to even hint at. Like, they had to kill off Deadshot because Deadshot was going to be in Suicide Squad. They forced the Arrowverse to kill off their Deadshot because they just, on a whim, decided to include that character in the film, and they thought having two Deadshots on TV and in the films would be too confusing for people. They had to end their Suicide Squad arc because the Suicide Squad arc movie was coming out. They can't say the name Batman. They can't reference anything to Batman aside from a couple of characters that they let them have control of. They couldn't have anything, man. It was just so... And the fact that the show still managed to work around all of these handicaps blows me away. Like, Warner Brothers is such a shitty fucking studio with handling DC. I think the Dark Knight trilogy only was as good as it was because of Christopher Nolan. That's it. Yeah, and they had no exactly. They had no reason to be that limiting. They had no success. They had critical meh after the Dark Knight. Have a win somewhere. A win there would give you promotion elsewhere. If people were excited about a Flash TV show, they would be excited about a Flash movie, even if it's not the same Flash. Promotion's promotion, guys. Ugh. So fucking stupid. And that's just a few things. There's so many things that the Arrowverse wanted to do that they were told they can't. It's so fucking dumb. Yet they say stuff like that, and then they still allowed Grant Gustin to be the Flash and Ezra Miller to be the Flash. They're like, that's not going to confuse people, but two Deadshots? They had Harley Quinn in there as a voice cameo, but they weren't allowed to actually say her name or show her. It's fucking stupid, man. Now I get maybe not wanting the Trinity on TV, but all the other characters should be fair game, right? They weren't allowed to show Barbara Gordon. They weren't, because they had a Batgirl movie planned. They weren't allowed to do anything. Yet they still contradicted themselves. Again, with the example of the Barry Allen of it all. Yeah, true. About the Idris Elba character there. If I could have any Star Wars animal as a pet, what would it be? Varactyl. Definitely a Varactyl. Though I have no idea how I would house that thing, man. Especially since the two Deadshots were two completely different races and actors and all of it. They have the same backstory, but people are fucking stupid, man. People know that fucking Adam West's Batman is not Christian Bale. I know they weren't on air at the same time, but I mean, they had fucking... Okay, get this shit. So even Gotham wasn't allowed to have them say Batman. Even Gotham was not allowed to say the name Batman. He could be Bruce Wayne. That could be Alfred. That could be Jim Gordon. They could be in Gotham, but he could not be called Batman in the show. Why? They're so protective of their stuff to the point that they just shoot themselves in the foot all the time. Yeah, and they couldn't say Joker or Harley Quinn. I forgot about those. Yeah, they couldn't actually call Jerome or Jeremiah Joker. They couldn't call What's-Her-Face Harley. They just danced around it all the time. I would get rid of all those fucking restrictions. I can tell you that real quick. Because it's dumb. And all it is it's hindering your projects. You're hindering your creativity. You're hindering your multiverse you want to do. I really hope with them shifting to this multiverse focus that they give that shit up. And honestly, I think at this point, they've hurt themselves so much that with the shows going on as long as they have with these restrictions still in place, it's no wonder some of these later seasons after season 1, season 2, season 3 of some of these shows, the creativity got very like stretched and drained. Warner Brothers wouldn't let them do shit half the time. So they burned their best stories early on, and when it came to coming up with something new, they really had to fucking throw a dart at the board and just see what happened. And right now if they want to go this multiverse route, even if they laxed up a lot of the restrictions, I think for some of the shows, it's just too damn late to salvage some of it. After Crisis on Infinite Earths, the shows have just been in a decline. in general. Across the board, even The Flash, even it's still the flagship show on the station, it's still not pulling in the numbers it used to. Oh, ooh, that pissed me off, man. They had to get rid of Slade Wilson because Joe Manganiello was going to be making a cameo in Justice League. They had to get rid of Manu Bennett from the show, stop referencing him because of that. And then they don't even make a movie with him. Even Titans has a bunch of restrictions. They were allowed a lot more freedom than the CW shows. Greg Berlanti works on that show. The writing is more trash on that show than any of the CW shows, in my personal opinion. But they got a lot more freedom. They can reference people out the ass. Do I want to see the Mortal Kombat sequel? I do. I had fun with the movie. I didn't think it was a good Mortal Kombat movie, but I'm at least not turned off to the point that I won't watch the sequel. So I'll watch the sequel. I do want to see the sequel. I think it laid the groundwork for a better movie to come after it. I just thought the first one we got was messy as hell. Fun, but not a good Mortal Kombat adaptation. They even limited the Justice League cartoon so the Batman characters couldn't appear besides Bruce. They need to stop that shit, man. That's so fucking stupid. Don't roast Titans, Omni. I will roast. Dude, people roast. I will roast whatever I want. And I'm going to watch Titans. I'm going to watch Titans Season 3. I don't know if I'll react to it because, honestly, I'll probably piss a lot of people off if I react to it, like the people that actually enjoy it. I do not. That's the only DC show I don't like. I like the cast. I like the costumes, but the writing does nothing but piss me off. Do you think the Arrowverse could be moved onto HBO Max? Eventually it's going to be. Not like away from the CW, but the plan is to have HBO Max. Eventually, when the contract ends with Netflix, all those shows will go straight to HBO Max after they air. Right now, it's only Batwoman and Superman and Lois because they were both made to air after that deal was made with Netflix. So once that deal expires with Netflix, all the other shows will go over there. But by that point, it might be too late. Haven't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Lucifer. I haven't seen Lucifer at all. I do plan on watching it. I was thinking about doing a reaction series on it once it's come to a close. Maybe revisit that, actually visit it for the first time later. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I watched up to season 3, kind of got bored, and never went back. I mean, I've heard some good stuff about it, but I just never went back and finished Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it was season 3 where I stopped. Guys, we're going to have to wrap up. I have to hit the road. So thanks everybody for tuning in. If there's any questions you want me to answer that you didn't get to ask, drop it in the comments, or you can come and hang out in the Discord and drop it in the respective channel you want to address. Discord link is in the description of this video, or at least it should be. If it's not, comment on the video and I'll just put a link there. But I'll head out. I might be back on later tonight. I don't know. Keep an eye out. But for now, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for the engagement. Thanks for hanging out. And yeah, I'll catch you guys a little bit later. Take care, everybody.